Good morning. So this morning I'm having some thoughts about responsibility, about when you begin to see um, the divinity in it all, and these other realms, and um, the ability, the, the, the ability to uh, get to heaven on earth in this lifetime. It becomes it turns into like a responsibility. You start feeling like once you see it, it becomes it comes on your plate. You can't not see it. So it's like once you know something, you can't unknow it. And once you are, uh, say, chosen, I don't even know if chosen, graced. Once you see these higher realms, and once you see your connection to the divine, and how everything is connected and how everything works, and how humanity, or each individual, you could say humanity, you could say each individual within humanity, um, the places we that we have been or are um, asleep. And once you wake up and you see it, it it becomes it comes on your plate. It becomes like your responsibility, and not in a way of like being punished, more in a way of being blessed. Like like I was saying in one of my previous videos, is that it is like born out of yourself, from within, from the circumstances. After yesterday, when I did that video with the channeling, the day before yesterday, I was with my twin, and he has he has this ultimate truth, and when you meet him, it is apparent. It meets with you in certain ways, whoever meets with him. And I was telling him that having that kind of power, and I'm not going to get into all of the details about it right now. I'm sure that there'll be more videos, but this is something else that I'm doing. um, I was telling him that comes with it great responsibility, because he has the power. When people meet him, they're always first like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because it's like meeting um, divinity. It's like meeting a pure version of humanity. Um, and I know that it's not just me saying, he has an effect on people when people meet him, and it like an awakening effect, like people wake up all of a sudden, and it comes with a great responsibility, because if he is casual with his words, he can really hurt somebody. Um, so he really has to pay attention with what he says, and how he brings himself forth, and how he touches people. He has to pay attention. And I was talking to him about it. These are old thoughts with a new kind of importance and meaning on them. And yesterday, when I was having yesterday morning, I was just channeling, and it was so overwhelming. And after all of those channeling sessions I had, I fell asleep, which I usually don't fall asleep during the day. I just couldn't hold myself. It was like tiring. I was thinking afterwards how tiring it is, and because it was so intense. And I almost didn't put that video up, the one that I put up last. But then I decided, that is where my responsibility is, because it's thinking, oh, it's crazy. It's a little bit, if my family or anybody that knows me sees that as like, oh, that's kind of crazy. But what is crazy? It I feel like it's kind of like my responsibility. And if that's what came out, then that's what came out. And I've been having, I've been channeling for years and not putting anything out. I've been writing in books, writing and writing and writing and saying, okay, so someday I'm going to publish all this. But what I'm realizing is that whatever is coming out relevant to the times. And so it's actually timeless. It doesn't really matter, but however it comes out, it comes out, and it's coming out so fast. Like every day I have channeling, that the quickest way to get it out is just to put it out. If it's coming out, film it and put it out. And because if I put it in, if I write it down and then I have to go back and I have to edit it and I have to type it, I already know. I have notebooks and notebooks and notebooks and notebooks piled that I've never put out. And then it sits on you because when you're not fulfilling what you are supposed to be fulfilling, what's coming through you, which is your responsibility to bring into the world, then there's an unease to you. And I want to talk about the twin flame journey on this because yesterday, again, I went to the beach. Yesterday I didn't see my twin. It was the first day in a lot of days that I didn't see him. But we talked on the phone and I told him about the channeling that I had. It was really interesting, the conversation, because every time I went into something that was important, all of a sudden the phone started going. He told me every time you say something that's important, all of a sudden you sound like a robot. Every time I started getting into something, so it was really funny how it's almost like demonic. It's almost like those demons are coming in to like shake up and not let the point get across. Um, but the signs are everywhere. But yesterday when I went down to the beach, I was having a conversation with a girl that I know that we met probably a couple months ago, and she actually lives here. She just moved into this area, and she said that she moved into this area after having a dream. She had a dream that she was driving along this main highway down here and looked over at the Sea of Galilee and said, "This is where I live." And it was like a premonition. And so she was at the time she was in Peru. She came back to Israel, packed up her house, and started looking for a place here to live. And that's how she found this place. And we were talking yesterday, and she asked me, because she was sitting with us the day before, and she told me she was asking about mine and my twins' relationship. And she asked me, because I don't, when I'm talking to people, I don't, it's not, here I talk freely about it because this is my spot. But I don't freely talk about it out in the open because it's kind of, it's out there. People don't get it. I realize with my family who accept me and have known me all my life and know that I'm, who I am, and even they can't understand it and don't accept it. Um, so I don't openly talk about the twin flame journey with people that I meet unless I see that it's something that they can grasp and understand, and that they come from the mystical, that they can see the higher realms, and that they will be able to at least conceive of it. And she brought it up. She asked me about our relationship, and I started telling her a little bit about our relationship, and that we're doing work one across from each other. And she asked me if I ever heard about twin flames, and I thought it was so funny that she was asking me. And so then we had a conversation about it. I told her, yeah, it's exactly that. And she said that she also had an experience with the twin flame, and it's unbelievable. This beach down here that we go to, it's like magical. It's unbelievable the people that are drawn to this place, because last week I met another woman that was telling me about twin flames, and that also had an experience for years, and that she had an experience that she was in contact for 15 years with somebody, and then he married somebody else. and they are still in touch here and there, but she's also in a relationship already for 11 years, and they're still in their twin flame doohickey majig. Doohickey majig. It's like, I don't even know. But I was thinking about this responsibility thing and how once you see something and you're in God's work, right? Because I feel like this is my God's work, putting out these videos, and I realize that we are all being drawn together, and there has to be points where we can be drawn together. So and since I've been doing these videos and talking about the twin flames, I also met on the Jordan River, and I also did a video about it when I met somebody with the Christ energy, with the Christ consciousness running through him, and I was saying I'm just like a magnet for the Christ consciousness. I feel like I'm connected to Mary Magdalene. That's really strange, but I do. And I feel like all of the generations that have brought me to the Galilee, it's like all the things that had to have happened for me to end up right here in the Galilee, right over, this is the same land. This is the exact same land. Magdala is right here. And how did I end up here? And I ended up here without any kind of connection to it. I ended up here like not feeling, not even knowing. It's just like it's like a sequence of events that brought me to this place that are just like life happenings. But then when you look back at it, and all of a sudden I feel this immense connection also to the Christ energy, but also to remembering past lives. And it's like I have experienced this place before, and something drew me to arrive and live in this place before I even knew why. It's amazing like that, the synchronicities that I'm seeing over and over and over. There are like major synchronicities. I just have to get out of the sun. The sun keeps coming out. I'm just going to get right here behind this tree, in the shade of the tree. The synchronicities that are happening, and they're not only happening with me, I see them with the people all around me that are bringing us together. Also with some of the people that have been that watch my videos and that have contacted me and written to me. The people that have contacted me and written to me, um, I see that we're going through a lot of the same things. It's like me speaking it is, I'm speaking not only my consciousness, but I'm speaking the consciousness as a whole, because there are energies. It's like a consciousness that came into my being, but it's not only in my being, it's in many others' beings. And right now is a time of everything being shaken up. Um, and these consciousnesses are waking up, and we as human beings are thinking that they are us, and it can be very extremely confusing having all of these strong energies running through us and us not knowing what they are and how to manage them and what to do with them. It was like the channeling that I was doing yesterday. It was like, what do I do with this? It's so powerful what was coming through me. And I still feel like the words that I brought to it are very, very small compared to what it was. But afterwards, I was thinking that in me being able to, and that's the twin flame, and that's what I want to get into. It's the twin flame journey. Um, so I was thinking that the what I was able to bring into words was very, very small, and having these energies running through me, and the understandings that I have of them, it makes it my responsibility to bring it forth. And if I'm not bringing it forth, then I'm suffering. And that is the same thing with anything. When you have a talent and you're not, what is a talent? A talent is your God coming through you. It's what your gift is to give to the world. Look, perfect place for my hat. It's God's gift to the world that comes through you. And if you're not bringing your talent forth, or you're not bringing your purpose forth, then you're suffering. It's it's you not standing in your power in these places, and then you're allowing the demons to come in, the demons, the jinns, whatever you want to call them, addictions. You can call them addictions if you want to. Even addictions are the jinns. Addictions are the jinns. It gives you an out why you don't have to stand up in your power. So if I have a sore spot, let's say a trauma, and I don't want to visit my trauma again, anytime anybody touches my trauma, I lash out so that I don't have to go there. So it gives me an out. And these are the jinns. These are the places that I'm not standing up completely in my power. Like this chair, the rock that I'm sitting in is like there's a bowl in it, so that I can just, it's like a perfect seat and throne. So it's all coming together more clearly. At first, it comes down as like a download, and it's overwhelming. It's oh, and then as it comes in, it slowly like resonates, and then it gathers like it comes down sharp and painful and overwhelming. And then as I ease into the knowing and understanding it and putting it into words and putting it into conscious thoughts, everything that comes down, then it slowly becomes softer and like a blanket, and it evens out, and I'm able to understand it and bring it into better words. And so seeing is responsibility. And I feel like with my twin and the twin flame process, and this is I'm understanding that this is universal. There are so many twins waking up now, and so many twins meeting each other just in my life. Yesterday, I met somebody who was on the twin flame. Somebody that was in my course was on the twin flame journey. Um, Last week, I met that lady that I told you about. Through the videos that I'm doing, I'm meeting more and more. Last year, I met a girl that's on the twin flame journey. I met a couple at the beach that are on a twin flame journey. And it's like, where has this been? There's all of a sudden everything, and I see, besides the twin flame journey, I see people waking up all around and searching for guidance, not understanding what they're going through. And I feel that as a twin flame and being on this spiritual awakening that is like a supreme, um, call it a supreme fast track, like explosion of an awakening with the twin flame journey. All of a sudden, you're thrown into it. It's like catapulted into it because of these reflections that you get back. But it's not only reflections; it's also like this divine understanding of your counterpart. You can see your counterpart so well that it's undeniable. And with it comes responsibility. And I see that on this waking up and the spiritual awakening comes this responsibility to bring the word out, and the responsibility of spreading the knowledge and the awakening and bringing others into the knowing and appreciation, especially now with the planet and the way that humanity is going. It feels like we are in the time of the Geula. Geula is like the we're in the end times. We're in the time, and I'm not saying end time like that's it, the end. I'm saying like the time of awakening, the time of change, the time of a different era. We're going into the new world. The new world is heaven on earth. The new world is a complete shift in consciousness. That humanity is shifting in consciousness. There's an awakening that is happening all around us, and people are rising into their godlike beings and understanding that they're godlike beings, and waking up from the dream and from the matrix. And because we are coming stronger together, and because the light is is rising, the darkness is too. It seems like the both of the polars, like the polarities, are coming into their extremes and they are coming together. So when you read back in the ancient scriptures about the wars between light and dark, so this is exactly what they're talking about. It's like the evil is becoming more and more evil, and the superficial is becoming more and more superficial. That the I was thinking, I was talking about the crazy. I was talking about yesterday, the video. It's like, somebody from mainstream looks at that video and they're like, oh, that's crazy. But somebody that understands this journey and knows that it's a mystical journey, because once you're on this journey, it's like, where did that come from? What is this? All of a sudden, you're waking up into all these different realms and different worlds, and you're understanding the world in a completely different way. You're coming from the place of creation, and you're understanding that this body is just a shell. That's how the jinns can also get in here, because this is just a shell. This is just the shell that allows me to bring expression into this 3D world. My higher self got this body to experience in this physical realm, but I'm not a physical being. This is just my my shell that gets to express my physical, that my being gets to be expressed through. And the higher consciousness, the higher I raise my vibration and consciousness in this realm, um, the greater my experience becomes. The more aware I become of the experience, the more I own the experience, and I can do work with the experience and understand the experience and expand my being with this experience, knowingly, not just like waking up in the morning, oh, let me go to work and get some money, and I see it all around me. All of a sudden, what's crazy? It seems like I was thinking, it looks crazy, but who does it going to look crazy to? It's going to look crazy to people that don't get it. But what's more crazy? Getting up in the morning and thinking I'm this body of meat and running after money and clothes to ordain it with? I mean, isn't that crazier than crazy, when we have this wonderful Garden of Eden, that and just wonders everywhere, and we're all caught up and getting up in the morning and going to be a slave? I mean, people get up in the morning, and I've done it before. I'm not saying this with any kind of judgment, because I completely understand, and I've been there, and I come from it, and I'm still we have this meat body that we have to feed and protect and watch over and house and clothe, and um, so there is all of that in there. But what is more crazy, getting up in the morning and going and selling all of your efforts and your time and your life and the quality hours of your day to other people, so that you can have money, so that you can, like, it's a routine, and it's a routine of slavery. It's like being a slave to your meat body. And it's not only being a slave to your meat body, it's being a slave to others. It's being a slave to the evil in the world, and you don't even have to call it evil. You could call it the demonic, the this is Satan's world. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean it in the physical world is the world of Satan. um, the physical world is the lowest vibrational world. The vibration is so low that things come into physical existence. In higher vibrations, it doesn't come into the physical. So I'm going to request more accurate. I'm going to request clarification on that. Um, I'm going to request clarification for that, for it to come to me. Um, so and so back to the responsibility thing. So that's the crazy thing. The thing that to whoever is in mainstream, the all of the crying and the channeling yesterday, and I just put it was some very extremely sloppy channeling, but that's how it came down. That was the download, and I felt like I had to express it. It's like my God's work. That's what I keep saying. It's like it's these things are coming through me and they need to be expressed. So however they come out, I'm just putting them out. I've decided. I almost didn't post that yesterday, and then I thought the more the controversial it is, the more the message needs to get out, because I'm not the only one feeling these things and I'm not the only one knowing these things, and these messages are coming through me for me, but also for others that are going through the same thing, and especially on this twin flame journey, because it's so outrageous, it's so out there, it's so and whoever's going through it is so shooken up by it that if I have downloads that give me some kind of insight to it, I feel like it's my responsibility to share it so that maybe other people can also get clarification from it, or some kind of chavana, like some kind of guidance from it to where it's going. And one of the things that I realized yesterday is that the twin flame journey is way bigger than just, it's become my responsibility, whether or not my twin and I, the running after the body, running after, the romantic part of it is so small next to the mission, which the mission is, if I can see the divinity in it and I can see the purpose in it, then it becomes my responsibility to bring it out into the world. And by us working with one another, and I can see his divinity, and it's kind of like a joint effort. It's if I can see it, I feel like it becomes my responsibility to explain it. I feel like um, that I interpret him to the world. It's like being a bridge in between how he meets the world. If it's just him meeting the world that way, then the observation is lost. It's just the perception of him and the perception of the receiver of him, or whoever is going through his gifts. He has his God-given gifts, and what he has come to give to the world is tikkun. It's like clarity. He reflects people back their higher selves, and through that casts their demons out of them, because it's like when somebody meets him, their higher self is awakened, their higher consciousness. He speaks directly to their higher consciousness and mirrors back these places in the other person that he meets, that they're not standing right all the way up into their righteousness. And these are the places that the demons sit, in the bottom. They sit there and they hold their spot, and they fight against anybody that comes to threaten their existence within us. And so he sees these demons. He sees them on the outside. He can see them around us, but he also sees them within us, and he sees them intuitively. Um, and I even think that sometimes, even if he doesn't see that it's a demon, and he doesn't see, but he can see the fault. He can see where you're not standing up in your righteousness. He can see it like that. And then by touching that point, the demon is touched, and the demon, or the jinn, or whatever you want to call it, and the jinn is all shaken up, and the jinn starts causing havoc, fighting for its existence. It's like when you quit smoking, and there's a path in your mind that is opened up for the smoke. It's an addiction. It's addictive. It's an addiction. And that path, it's like neurons that fire together. They still want to fire. So it starts nagging at you. Give me a cigarette. Give me a cigarette. Give me a cigarette. And the more it nags, I mean, the smaller it gets. In the beginning, it starts nagging and nagging and starts shaking you up. And you really have to stand strong against not smoking. You have to stand in your power. Um, and as you wean yourself from the cigarettes, the neurons in your brain, that path starts to diminish, and it starts to like l'invol is the word. It starts to like die. The path starts dying because when you don't use it, you lose it. It's the same thing. It's like when you want to create a new thought, you have to practice that thought. Otherwise, it will wilt. It wilts and then slowly gets closed. But it's always there. It just closes. That's why when you have it, when you even it's enough that you have one drag of a cigarette 20 years down the line, that line it goes gets opened right back up, and you're right at the same place you were with the same addiction. That's why alcohol is completely off the table for me. I remember that was one thing. I was afraid I was going to forget how horrible it was to be addicted to alcohol. No way. I remember. I'll never forget. Yeah, never say never, but that's what guards me is the knowing. That's my safety net. The knowing that I'm never above it. The knowing that it's always there. So with this responsibility, I feel like because I can see it, and because I can see it from the side, and I can see exactly what's happening. And I was thinking, when he meets people, like this happens every time that he meets people, people get shaken up just by meeting him, just by his presence, because of his divine presence, because of the work that he has done. And he's had, the wounded healer. He's definitely the wounded healer, just as I am. We both come from that, but he's had quite a bit on his plate in his lifetime, and has overcome it so beautifully. I am just in awe of him, in the person that he is, and the person that he has become, and the person that he has made himself, and in everything that he has gone through. I just feel blessed to have him in my life. And oh, okay. So I feel like because I can see it, it's become my responsibility, because I can interpret him. And it's almost like I'm a bridge between him and the others, because many times when people meet him, they don't understand what's going on. All of a sudden they're shaken up, and it's painful to be shaken up. I mean, we're on this twin flame journey. We know how painful it is to be shaken up on it, where all of our faults, where all of the places that we're not standing up are being reflected back to us. And I feel that a lot of times when people are put in that position, and it's not by anything, sometimes it is on purpose, but sometimes it's just by meeting him, they don't understand what's going on. And by my ability to be able to see it, it becomes my responsibility to be able to kind of become a bridge between that and the world, and a bridge between that and how it's perceived. I feel like it's kind of becomes my responsibility, my divine responsibility, along with bringing out whatever other messages or that want to come through me. And um, and I feel blessed in that. So on the twin flame journey, I'm going to end this with this. On the twin flame journey, it is bigger than us. And I'm getting it. The being with the other twin, or trying to hold on to them or make it into something that is romantic, or something that, which it can be. I'm not saying that these things go against each other, but that is just a byproduct. The higher purpose of this, and you will be stuck if you keep going around in those loops, because you're missing the higher purpose. The higher purpose is that each of you divinely bring through your talents and cleanse yourself to where the divine can come through you, and then you have a message for the world. And that is the gift that the twin flames bring, and that is the higher purpose and the mission. And 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 when you arrive there, the rest is far less meaningful than that. Um, so I think that's all I'm going to say on that. So really, thank you for watching. Sending you lots of love.